like the current film that we're getting ready to shoot in Goa, it's a very difficult story. It's a story that the government will not be pleased with. And there's plenty of power brokers that are not going to be pleased with it. And we were able to get to the people we needed to get to because actors love to hear about stories. And if they hear something that speaks to them, they will oftentimes, to the detriment of their own careers, step in and say, I'll be in this and I'll talk to some producers that I know.
Do you know the story behind To Kill a Tiger, which just got sold to Netflix? Do you
Well, I mean, I know about it, but I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, working in China is also, it's completely different than working in, you know, and it's, China, again, has a pretty good infrastructure, you know, so it's and there's plenty of opportunity in China. I find, actually, production is very easy to accomplish. The real struggle is if you try and shoot something in China that you have not worked directly with a Chinese production company with, because then you have to get this, I think it's called the Green Dragon seal, and it's like there's only a certain amount that get passed out. I actually have had one film that made the grade. It was a film called The Steed. It was a Mongolian film, but you know, I think that's the hardest part, is making sure that your distribution works in China. And at least for me, as an outsider, I find that there are things that you have to do. For instance, if you get your films into the theaters, you need to figure out, like one of the things people don't tell you is, if you get that seal, you have to figure out what you think your movie's gonna make. And based on what you think your movie's gonna make, you have to pay for advertising and marketing. And it can be very daunting if you're not from China. So like I would say in Mongolia, you can work by yourself and find people that can help you. But I would say in China, it would be a very big mistake to try and make a film completely on your own and not work directly with production companies and people that are familiar with a Western system and what you want to do, because those partners that you make in China are going to be like gold. They're going to be the ones that really make it possible for you to also to not insert your foot in your mouth, because it's very, especially if you're an American, it's very easy to say the wrong thing and do the wrong thing. So I highly suggest working with people in production companies in China if you want to shoot in China.
Let me address a question to the whole panel, because I noticed just recently Netflix has been airing a lot of Korean content. The Incredible Attorney Woo, which I thought was amazing. I never get hooked on series. I got hooked on that series. And now there's one called Crash Landing Into You, about a wealthy South Korean woman that goes paragliding and winds up in North Korea. It's fascinating. Is anybody familiar with this, or does anybody have any experience with Korean filmmaking?
I have a little bit of.
All right, continue.
So I have a project that is yet to get made, but it's called Buffalo Soldiers, and it basically kicked off with another producer that I know who's also a veteran like me, and he used to work in Korea with the government. He was working as a safety advisor, and when he was with a Korean general, there were these pictures of all of these black soldiers with this older general, and he was like, who are these guys? And he's like, they're the Buffalo Soldiers, and he's like, what are you talking about? Those are from. Anyway, as it turns out, a piece of American history that almost nobody knows about is there were the only ever completely black special forces unit ever put together was during the Korean War, and they were Rangers. They were black Rangers, and they were instrumental in the war.
But don't the Buffalo Soldiers go back earlier in history?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They absolutely go, and that's why. So they called them the Buffalo Soldiers. And
Okay.
so like our film's name's not Buffalo Soldiers, it'll be Buffalo Rangers.
Okay,
But like, just so that people kind of,
fascinating.
but so when we, I think one of the things that was fascinating about that is Koreans are aware of this history and Americans are not.
Wow.
They've remembered these people, and they pay homage to them, and we don't even know. It was like, as a veteran, it was really shocking to me
Right.
to imagine that these people aren't even known. And I would say my experience in Korea was they are really trying to help us get this made and get we're getting people like Denzel Washington talking to us, and not when we first came to him. It was when the Koreans stepped behind us and started helping us. So I mean, the Korean industry is incredibly powerful right now, and if you can get, again, it's about learning how to open your hand and ask for some help and not being too full of pride, because it's like, I think Koreans are really they can be instrumental in getting a project completed if you can find a partner that's willing to help you. And like for me, I found that they have funds, they have private interests. There's all sorts of ways that you can get money raised in Korea and ways to get films made. And also, once you work with somebody, they have amazing distribution. So they're a real powerhouse.
Great. Tell us about your experiences working in Asia, the differences from the countries, and your experiences there.
I never have a chance to make movie outside America so far.
Oh, okay.
So all my experience is all the movie I make really pretty much in U.S. And it's the only thing, the country that I shot my movie is my new movie that shot in Russia. So that was
Where in Russia?
At the Siberia.
Wow.
So it's not a great place for making movie, but
What's the infrastructure like in Siberia?
it was tough. The crew wise is not as professional, So
Was this during the Ukrainian Russia
no,
conflict?
thank God.
Before?
Thank God I shot my movie over there before the war started.
Okay, all right.
So I was lucky, able to shoot that for there for 2 weeks. The beginning of my movie. But the story, the movie that I have, the new one, is based on based on a little bit true story about a female Russian special force, Ladies Weapons. And then I put a little bit fiction to make it more entertaining, So able to shot part of it in Russia and in Siberia, and the rest is Los Angeles, pretty much in California area.
These movies that you shot in the U.S., do they have Asian themes and Asian actors?
Yes, all the movies that I make, they all have Asian actors, because I believe that, I wanna make, even myself as an Asian American actor, filmmaker, that I wanna push the boundaries, to make, Asian American movie, not just just make only, not Asian movie only, but we're able to make American movie too, so we can establish with the audience, with the American audience, and hoping, in the future I will make, just really just Asian American cast and story and stuff, so to expose more, in America and stuff.
Good.
But I would love to, like I said, have project in the future that they will be shooting in different country, and that I've been looking forward to do that.
Before we get to Crystal, we're going to you next. I want to interject something while I'm thinking of it, because I just saw a wonderful screening of Quizly, and it was written by an Italian-American writer, a woman, but she got the script to Sandra Oh and Awkwafina, and they starred it. Will Farrell produced it. So it wasn't specifically an Asian movie or an Asian cast, but it was an American writer that went to Asians, and the movie is fabulous. Quizly, Sandra Oh and Awkwafina. Perfect example of how you can take an American script and go to Asian actors and get it done, and really, I'm sure they adapted and they tweaked the script for those two, but it was a wonderful movie. And Crystal, we're going to you. tell us about your movie experience and working with Asians. Have you shot in any Asian countries?
No, I don't have.
Tell us
this
about Dark
experience.
Feathers.
Yeah. I was born in Shanghai, China, and I live in San Francisco, California, which Asian culture has very strong influences. That's the reason Dark Feather is a California story. In Hollywood right now, we don't have a lot of film which is Asian female lead. So I want to fill this gap. And also that is the reason Dark Feather is coming from. Another thing is that currently I don't see a lot of film was talking about a female power. So Dark Feather is an action thriller, but the main theme is the female power, female love, and female dignity. The story has martial arts and also dancing intertwined each other. It is a psychological thriller, but it's dancing as a backdrop. I have casted all the top dancers like Karina Smirov, and as a matter of fact, 4 o'clock I need to go to her competition in Baltimore Hotel in Los Angeles. She was in Shall We Dance and also Dancing with the Star. The same as another lead actor, James Marini. He was in Sex and the City. And our big star is Michael Madison. He was in Kill Bill 1 and 2, and also Quentin Tarantino, Reservoir Dog. So we have all the top, dancers and all the stars in our movie. The movie was shot in pandemic, so I have met a lot of challenges and also the obstacles. During the production, there are around like 7 people died. The first one is my associate producer's father. And then she quit after 1 month's job. And the second one, which is my costume designer sister, and then she died. So my costume designer, she need to quit after 2 weeks. And also later, Michael Madison's son got suicide. And one of another producer died too. So there's just so many obstacles and challenges. So that is the reason we have very high turnover rate for the cast and the crews. Despite all the challenges, I really enjoy this journey. I have spent 4 years in this project, beginning to finding the script, get first check, shooting, post-production, and I submitted it to almost 55 film festival, and we got 18 awards, including the 24th Hollywood Royal Independent Film Festival, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Picture, and also Best Trailer. So right now, I'm in my final stage. I have a product, but I need the world to know my product, to know this film, which is the importance of the marketing. And our film, Dark Feathers, Dance of the Geisha, will have limited theatrical release on August 2nd. And our social media is at Dark Feathers Movie. Thank you.
Thank you. I've known Crystal for a bunch of years, and I've seen her go through this journey, and 4 years. I know, it's a lot of work. So, you're going to translate for me, huh?
Yep.
I saw your film, The White Snake. It was really wonderful. I'm sorry I didn't get to see your film, but I hope that I do. Tell us about working in Asia. Obviously, you work in China. Have you worked in other Asian countries too? Do you want to? And do you want to shoot some films here in the U.S.?
好像知道西部是有没有以前跟其他亚洲的电影人合作的机会？你将来要不要需要跟亚洲电影人还有美国的电影人合作？
跟亚洲的电影人合作倒是有过，
He has worked with
很多
Asian filmmakers in Asia.
也希望后面有跟美国的或者其他国家的电影人一起合作一些，已经有这样的计划啊。
He would love to have the opportunity to work with other U.S. filmmakers or filmmakers from other countries.
我们有一个，
Okay.
然后我们有一个什么呢？一个美国青年到中国去旅行，然后遭遇了一些很有趣的故事，然后同时一个中国的年轻人来到美国旅行，他们相互这个到不同的地方去旅行，各自发生的一些故事的这么一个影片。
So he has a few potential film they are working on is a Chinese American young person went to China 男的还是女的？
都可以。
Okay.
美国的是男的，中国的是女的。
Okay. So a young American young man went to China for a vacation, and also a young lady from China coming to the U.S. So the movie is about their experience and an amazing story.
Nice. And has he shot in other Asian countries, not just China?
他说你以前在别的国家拍过吗？亚洲的其他国家拍过电影吗？
有。
哪个国
What
家
other countries?
韩国。
So South Korea. He has
South Korea.
shoot a movie in South Korea before.
Wow. Wow. Well, is he familiar with this, either the incredible Attorney Woo, which was a South Korean production, or Crash Landing Into You?
他说有一个在南韩的一个 attorney.
Yeah, the Incredible Attorney Woo is about a young
Is it-
South Korean attorney who has autism.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
Oh
good.
my goodness,
Yeah, I love
it was a
that.
huge hit.
Yeah.
And Squid Game was a
Yeah.
huge hit.
Yeah.
Korean television and series are very popular here in the
有
US.
一个律师，你知道这个电影吗？
很有名的律师，
很有名，南韩的
不是是这个
类似
一个
类似
是一个电视剧，里面的内容是好像历史
电视剧啊。
南韩。So Brian, when you talk about the Korean, probably you have to specific South Korean or North
Right.
Korean. For us, they're
South Korean.
totally different.
Well,
South Korean.
all the productions that are coming out of Korea right now that we're seeing are South Korean. Yeah, although Crash Landing Into You is about a South Korean woman who accidentally lands in North Korea. And it's a inter-country love story.
这个电影的名字我不知道怎么翻译。
Very fascinating.
Yeah, 但是 it is an attorney in South Korea.
电视剧。
Yeah, 电视剧，Yeah，它是一个电视剧。
So tell us what he shot in South Korea and what was it like and how was he treated in South Korea?
他说他想知道你在南韩拍片的时候的经验，还有他们对你怎么样？
因为我那个只是在那儿取了一个景，一个景区的景，因为时间也很短
多长时，间拍摄
也就不到1周嘛，四
Okay.
天5天。
？So he has only done the film there, shoot the film in South Korea in 4 days for mainly a view, the view, not really very long time.
Was it a demo reel for a film? Was it like a trip?
For sightseeing.
For the site inspection.
济州岛嘛，
There's a small island there,
对。
and they filmed mainly the scenery.
I see. Okay, all right.
Excuse me，他们讲那个 Crash Landing 叫《爱的迫降》，是2019年出的
电视剧。
电视剧，对，《爱的迫降
你》。知道这个电影吗？
这是个电视剧。
电视剧。
The full name actually is Love's Crash Landing。
反正没怎么看，但是大概知道内容，我知道。
So they know the movie, the TV show in Chinese. They know just a little bit, but not that much.
Okay.
你知道吗？
All right. And now to
He is the same.
our dear friend with 46 years in the business. Me too, by the way. Not only that, I have proof. I joined Screen Actors Guild in 1978. Crystal, can you confirm that? Thank you.
Yes.
So, in the 48 years, 46 years,
68年开始工作，68年开始工作。对。
so tell us about what it's like to shoot in Asia, and have you shot in other countries other than China? And how would you compare the pros and cons of working in Asia?
然后你在亚洲的拍摄经验，还有在跟别的地方拍摄经验不一样的地方。
在疫情之前，我去，对，
Before COVID,
我去了意大利、法国、德国，
so before COVID, he went to Italy and Germany and French,
古巴，
Cuba also.
哇
古巴，去的目的是为了谈电影的合作。
The purpose for his trip at that time during COVID was to cooperate with them for a film.
在意大利跟他的电影学院的院长谈了一个关于这个情撒佛罗伦萨这部电影的。
So he talked to the principal in the college in 法国吗？
意大利
in Italy is for a film called
情撒
Love is
Love
in
in
Florence.
Love in Florence.
Love in Firenze.
Firenze. Yeah.
后来因为疫情，这个事情就暂时放下。
They couldn't move forward because of COVID, so it just pending, still pending.
在法国，应该说是17年前，拍了一部电视剧叫《温州人在巴黎》。
So he has shot a film, a movie, TV show.
温州人在巴黎。温州
people in Paris.
Guangzhou people
No,
in Paris.
Wenzhou, another province.
Oh, okay, in Paris.
Yeah.
在法国2个月的时间。
Two months filming in France.
Wow, nice.
那是during COVID 的时间。
17年前，17 years.
17年前了。
All right, without getting political, you mentioned Cuba. Can Chinese enter Cuba very easily, or is there a very complicated process? What's that?
No visa needed.
No visa needed.
Chinese passport, you can go to Cuba. Just
刚才你说的
古巴
在古
古巴。
可以。
可以进出。Yeah, easily, yeah, they can.
And how were the production facilities in Cuba?
古巴的那个电影拍摄的场地怎么样？
Did you bring your own crew, or did you use a lot of
古
locals?
巴的场地呢，怎么说呢？就是说，
那个仪器之类的。拍摄
也是因为疫情停下了。它是古巴的整个的环境，还是比较美丽的。
The environment in Cuba is really beautiful, but the film delayed because of COVID.
拍摄的条件呢，就是说，他会给你很宽松的这种合作的条件。
They give you very good support for filming in Cuba.
但是要拍摄的所有的设备，这个人员这方面啊，经费都是由我们这中方出。
Yeah, they bring all the equipment for filming, and also they bring all the actors from China.
Oh, good, nice. And I would say that, let's go back to working in France. Was this a love story in France, or was this more like a travel adventure?
他说你在法国想拍的那个电影是爱情的片，还是只是一个旅游之类的片？
那个是温州人在巴黎是一部长篇电视剧，那个已经拍完了，是写温州人在法国生活、创业、爱情的故事。
The TV, that is the TV show, and that was done and for
a person from China, from Wenzhou in Paris, and for the living experience and also work experience, and also love experience. The love story as well.
Oh, was it a love story? Okay, good, good, yeah. Well, love stories tend to be universal, and you know, we're all connected by the heart, and sometimes, let's go down the line again. Do we have enough time, Lynn, to go down the line again?
Well, here,
Okay.
I think I have to introduce Derek In more. He's a child star. He grew up in the Changchun film.
You know what, let's open it up, that's a good idea. Let's have a Q&A, let's have some questions.
Sorry,
And-
I like to talk.
Nikki, do you have any questions?
I
No, no.
do, I do.
All right, so,
I have a project coming soon to Mongolia, and I had made a connection there. So my question is, what's difficult you have made during the past years in Mongolia?
What's difficult?
Difficulty you had.
Well, I mean,
losing power
losing power.
and burying a tractor.
Burying a tractor. I can also say that like the one technical aspect that Mongolians are kind of hit or miss with is sound. So if you're gonna use somebody who's Mongolian, you really need to make sure that you've heard a couple of the films that they've done the sound for. The first film that I really made that was Mongolia's entry to the Oscars.
Okay.
Getting the sound done was almost a 14-month odyssey. It was so difficult. We had so many problems, and I used to be a sound man, and I was on set, and we still had problems.
I'll interject something there. And let's make note of this, Lynn, because hopefully we will be going to Mongolia.
Yeah, we kind of go, you know, pretty, it's still planning for this, so all my friends, we can tell. We're gonna filming our senior trip. Probably 80% chance we're gonna do in Mongolia, in Inner Mongolia.
Inner Mongolia. Because it's different.
It's different.
Well, here's the note I was going to say about sound, if we have filmmakers and writers out there. Almost everything these days, production-wise, you can fix in post. You can fix the color, you can fix things, you can lighten, you can darken, there's all sorts of things you can fix. But you cannot fix sound in post.
Correct.
Clean it up a little bit.
I would also say that if you're gonna shoot though, you should aim to not have to fix it in post.
Yeah.
Because that's
It's really hard.
yeah, it's a pain in the neck. I mean, unless you're shooting with like 20K video and you can have that already set up. But even when you're doing that, then you have so much data that you're doing. I also used to be an editor, so I know a little bit about fixing it in post. And
Well, I got that advice, and I remember my first short film that I made with Ed Asler and Mark Rydell. I made it in one day for $6,000 in one afternoon. It's not this film, but it's these two guys. But someone had said to me, Brian, make sure you have good sound guys because you can't fix sound in post. So I've done some really high budget commercials for a guy named Joe Pitka. I did 20 commercials with him. And there was a guy on the set, and he had a stack of sound equipment, like, 4 or 5 feet high, and I could see him. His name was Mo Chamberlain. The whole family's in the sound business. And I just walked over to Mo, not even knowing what he was doing and all that equipment there. And I said, Mo, can I pay you your day rate to do the sound? And I used them over and over again. Because great sound, you want to have it on set. Actors, even stars, will work for, reasonable amounts of money, and actors want to work and things like that. But your crew is not getting any glory to appear in the film. So you want good technical people, and I would say most importantly, you want really experienced, good sound people with sophisticated equipment. And so.
What's the best season to go there?
what was that?
What is the best season?
Best season.
Oh, I mean, I would say spring, like late spring, is a really good time to go there. Anytime right before winter is very iffy. Like I'll give you an example. When we shot The Steed, because we shot The Steed actually for 3 years, and one of the reasons why it took 3 years is because of the weather. So like we had a scene that we were shooting, and it was not winter yet, and a storm blew in out of nowhere, and we ended up with like 3 feet of snow.
Wow.
Like, there was like no way for us to fix that. Like we couldn't run through and push the snow away and get some hair dryers and fix the whole situation. So we ended up having to postpone shooting, and like the snow stuck. We had to postpone shooting for almost a year because of that. So I mean, like, you should really figure out what you need in your film, like what you need shot, and like, I mean, snow's not a problem if you don't mind that there's snow in the film, but if there's not supposed to be, spring is really great because late spring, because usually the bugs have calmed down a little bit, and the weather is a lot more mild, and it's usually not as volatile. It's like the beginning of spring, you can kind of like, you're not really sure what you're gonna get. So I would say late spring is a really great time to shoot there. And you're not shooting in Inner Mongolia, you're shooting in Mongolia, or?
Mongolia, not the inner.
Okay, because, and do you have connections with the film commission and all that kind of stuff? Because like I was just in Canada with the film commission, so.
Oh, okay.
But I'd love to talk with you more about that, because
Sure.
there's, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the only one in Hollywood knows a lot of Mongolian. I mean, real thing, real.
Okay.
I literally know every single
Perfect.
person
Yeah, because
in
remember
Mongolia.
last year we have a Mongolian
In the
director
film
here?
In the film business, yeah.
Yeah, last year, remember how Mongolian guys there? He knows them.
Good.
See?
Any more questions from the audience yes,
I have
Eligia.
one. Okay. So
Tell us
for-
your name.
Olivia, yeah. So it's for Crystal. Okay, so I was wondering, you were talking about some of the challenges you've had filmmaking, with the pandemic and everything. But I believe, like, as a woman, do you feel any pressure, or have you seen it reflected in your work to be like an underrepresented voice also among your culture within filmmaking, and they're mostly male dominated?
Yeah, I think during the pandemic, a lot of people, I think probably before, they try to like make a living instead of making a film. Well, for me, I used to be a software engineer, so I need to worry about this. But actually during the pandemic, to raise the funds, which is the most challenging for me. Yeah, because as a producer, I need to, be in charge of everything. Beginning from the small thing all the way to the big thing, So there's so many titles in this film for me. But it's quite a bit of learning experience for me, and it's very crucial for my filmmaking career too.
Yeah, I think, Crystal, why don't you, as like Asian, Asian lead, both in men and women, not very few in here. So you made up your, like, Asian woman's lead. I think it's a great, great thing you did. And what kind of experience, or what kind of like, what courage you have, what kind of experience you did, and what right now you're doing your post, distributing. Tell us a little bit more how you get over there.
I was born in Shanghai, so when I was in Shanghai, I do a lot of like theater work. Then after I come to United States, I spent like more than 10 years doing the IT work. I was a software engineer and working for the IT industry. But I always want to pursue my dream. So I always tell people, if you have a dream, do not give up, and you'll get that. So I think as a female filmmaker, I want to concentrate on acting. Acting is my really passion. But for this film, I want to bring the fresh idea. I want to have full control of the creation. So that's the reason I become the director too in this film. In terms of the because it is a very ultra low budget film, so I need to meet the budget. So I'm doing line producer, I'm doing the producer, I'm the location manager. I'm in charge of all the department in terms of the costume design, production designer,
Accounting too?
casting, accounting, scheduling, first AD, everything you can experience. I just go through all this journey, yeah. And also in terms of the distribution, I went to China last year. I talked to a couple of distribution companies. They told me because in this film, I have Japanese elements, I have Taiwanese elements. So they say it's not going to pass the censor. So they cannot distribute my film in China. So that's the answer. And I have been to Cannes Film Market, I've been to AFM Film Market in the last year. So during the last year, I talked to a lot of distribution company, some big one like Gravitas. Gravitas want to acquire the film too. But right now it ends, I go to it's a small company, but it's very loyal for. I really trust them. Because in terms of distribution, I think we need to find some company which you feel comfortable, which you have some like a good testimony, So right now, the distribution company is called Kana and Rosner, and we'll have the streaming distribution around August 17th.
Good job.
Any more questions back there in the audience?
I have a question to Benny.
Okay.
So as an Asian director in Hollywood, how do you feel to be in the crowd in that whole white color? Sorry.
I don't know, I'm gonna speak up for the white man. The white man is not, the old white guy is not as popular as he used to be, so I think that myth is dying. By the way, Quiz Lady, which I was telling you about, Awkwafina and Sandra Oh, directed by Jenny Yu, a woman. And To Kill a Tiger, the Indian film that I was telling you about, took 7 years to make, about an Indian teenage girl that was raped, a very powerful movie, and female empowerment. Her and her father said, hey, we're gonna pursue this. And when I was at the screening at the London Hotel, the producer was there, a woman, Indian woman. She came out and said, oh, we have really good news. We just signed a deal with Netflix today, the day of the screening that I saw. 7 years later, the 12-year-old girl who was raped was now like 19 or 20 years old. Documentary film, To Kill a Tiger. I don't know what was paid for it, but it's a powerful film, and it's female empowerment in the highest level. I'm not talking about, I don't even want to say that film, but yeah, female empowerment. To Kill a Tiger. Miranda's Victim is a great film with a female director, and Quiz Lady. So it's happening. I know it's happening. So congratulations, women in the room.
Benny, how do you feel?
To answer that question, it's been very tough for Asian American filmmaker in Hollywood. The door is not open like people think. I mean, I don't care what people think, because this is my experience that I have making all this movie, and that I work with different people, from I've invested from different countries, you know what I'm saying, and also in America, like my partner and stuff like that. But the main thing that, as an Asian filmmaker, I think is our responsible to bring out, entertainment, movie really for audience. Because we make movie for audience. I don't make movie for my friends, for my relatives. I don't do that. I make movie as a business too. So I have to know about everything aspect about filmmaking and distribution and stuff. And I have been blessed that I know a lot of distributors in America. Not much in overseas, but in America I do. So, but I think the door is opening slowly because there are a lot of Asian American filmmaker now, female and male, that are making movies. It's like my good friend Justin Lin making studio film now. I mean, I'm so happy for him. I remember when he tried to raise money for his, that like tomorrow, his first movie that he coming big, right? And it's been an adventure for all of us. And hoping I can follow his footsteps to making studio film in the future and stuff like that. But I think it's like anything else. The culture is changing now in the film industry. It's not like before, So hoping more Asian filmmaker able to make movie in America, not just in Asia. I think it's very important, more than in any other country. Hope that answers your question.
Any other questions out there? Yes.
For the software engineer. Crystal, what was the primary reason why you were not able to distribute your movie in China?
Well, just like I said, because I have a Japanese clan family inside of my movie, and also I have Taiwanese. So I see it's very sensitive, all this kind of policy in China. So,
Also, they do not allow movies with other Asian, other cultures.
No, they don't allow the movie has some certain country. Right now, they politically dislike them. So right now, if you print some movie with in Japan or even US, they don't like it. They don't want to do it. It doesn't. It's nothing to do with your story or anything. Just their temporal of the political policy. So which we hate it, but we just have to.
Oh, so it has to do with the political culture.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Okay.
So that's really because the Dark Feather Dance of the Geishas actually is like we try to make a series. Probably we're going to make like 7 series. And by the way, this is our writer. Jing Yao is the writer. So this is only the 4th series. So we're trying to make a pre-core and also the sequel.
Any other questions from our audience out there? Any other questions? Wrap it up. So I want to thank everyone for being here, and thank all the panel, and good luck. And let's all keep making Asian films, and congratulations, female director, and our Asian directors, and thank you all for being here.